All right there, folks. Welcome back to actually another Code Vein 2 video. I don't know if you saw this, but we got a new trailer that came out, and it was from the producer of Code Vein 2, and he gave us a few updates and a different concept of what Code Vein 2 might actually be or how it is interpreted. So kind of interesting here, and there's a couple of high points that I want to go through if you haven't seen this. So as he talks through, I don't have any knowledge of Japanese or anything, so I could be completely missing the interpretation here of what the English subtitles are. So please let me know if there's anything special or extra different in there that I could be missing. But one thing here is that this title is a brand new installment to the Code Vein series, and so a couple of things here. Brand new installment to the Code Vein series. So if it is a series, they are going to be jumping back and forth between different timelines and different things. Maybe this is completely unrelated to the first one. Brand new installment, so it's like something not related to the first one. So this is going to be like new characters, new timelines, new dates, new enemies, new plot lines, new Revenant discoveries, new vein discoveries of what's happening in the world, so on and so forth. So don't get any hopes that we have any recollection to EO or anything else. We went through the trailer last time and we had a bunch of discussion points there, but it's looking more and more like we're going to be on a completely new adventure as opposed to what we saw anything related to the first vein. And this new sect of people or revenants or horrors or lost or whatever they might be, with this sun symbol behind their head, the Lunar Apaches, they are the new big bads. And that's the question of, is this right here the new big bad who took either Mito's place or Greg's place, one or the other. So we'll have to wait and see if he's going to try and take back the heart that was stolen, or something. That's kind of what this suggests, that either take back what was stolen or put back something that was misplaced, or destroy it altogether, so that way the big bad stops. So kind of interesting there. And then as we continue through the trailer here, you get to this point where we meet up with Lou, and Code Vein 2 takes place in a not so distant collapsed future. So the question is here, not so distant future to when instead of as to where, because we're still on the Earth. It's looking like or at least a very, very heavily inspired planet that is identical to Earth in a lot of ways, because of the architecture of the things that we see in the different areas of the game that we're going to be playing in. So the question I have is, not so distant from when? So it says later on in the video that we travel 100 years to the past. Well, when we saw the Deus Pita in the DLC for Code Vein 1, that would put us around the timeline of 2080, 2090, 2100, somewhere around there, AD. And so if we travel 100 years to the past, if we were exactly at the timeline when Code Vein 1 took place, then we would be around the year 1990, 2000, somewhere around there. But obviously he's saying that a not so distant future, well, if it's a not so distant future from the time that Code Vein 1 was happening, around God Eater 3 timeline, then we would be maybe 40, 50 years into the future here, which then would put us 100 years backwards. So maybe around 2040s, 2050s, somewhere around in there. I would start to speculate as to when this game might actually be taking place, so we can start to put that into the God Eater timeline as well as the Code Vein 1 timeline, to try and understand what this not so distant future relates back to, from whose standpoint and from what reference point. So definitely something to keep an eye on as to where we are placed in time. So I'm guessing around the 2040s, 2050s, somewhere in that space. We'll have to wait and see. So as we move along here, we get a nice picture of this guy, and we get a picture of him towards the end here as well. And so he looks to be one of our partners that we join up with. Got some cool gold styling going on here. So we'll have to see how he deals, but he seems to specialize in dual wielding things like dual wield swords, dual wield veils, and different attacks. So we'll have to see what that's about. Here at around the 18-19 second mark, we get this discussion about action and exploration. Now, that is probably beyond will we see EO or not. This is probably one of the biggest question marks that's going to be in the game, is what kind of exploration are we going to have? Are we going to have the loading hallways of the first one, or are we going to have a sectioned off area with fast travel missiles everywhere like the first one, or are we going to have some kind of seamless kind of zones or something, or is it an open world, or is it a connected area kind of like Stellar Blade where you can fast travel between places, or different areas that you load into and then you can fast travel around in that area, but then you have to go to a different area to fast travel around in there? Is it going to be like that, or is it going to be like completely open world like Elden Ring? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm willing to put some hard bets since this is the internet and I can't make a bet, but I would bet that we're going to see something kind of like Stellar Blade, not as a full open world like Elden Ring at all, where it's just one big zone and everything's just procedurally generated as you run through. I would imagine that it's going to be more like Stellar Blade, like you'll have each area, but then you'll have a system of travel within that area instead of very closed down like the first vein was, where it was you're in the city of the falling flame and that's where you're at, and the fast travel is to a whole other complete different area and you just go around in between those different areas. So that's what I would plan to imagine, because these environments here, they look pretty big, they look pretty spacious, they look pretty invisible wall heavy. So it's definitely going to be very lending itself to the idea that you can go a whole lot of different places, and we'll have to see if verticality is still in the mix. And if verticality is in the mix, then it looks like you can be down here in this grassy area and then go up all the way to the top of the bridge and explore around. So there's going to be pathways and different things everywhere, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Here we saw these couple of discussion points here in the first video that came out, but one key point here is that provide an evolved gaming experience to the original. So they're using the original as a base, but it's going to be a version of the original, which is kind of nice that we're still going to get some of that code vein jank that Bamco was so famous for in the first one, which is going to be kind of interesting. And then we'll have to see what those different mechanics are. But I would imagine that it's going to be, since they say here that we have the same drain attacks, partner system, and blood codes are going to be still, of course we brought them back. Well, I don't know if that is such a given when you've changed the story so much, to the point that you don't have all of the old partners or any of the old characters or any of the old areas. So here, this is kind of interesting that he says, of course we brought back familiar features. So that's good that there's at least some link happening to the old system. But it's probably going to be a lot of new actions, new quality of life changes, and a lot of different mechanics that are kind of similar that we're used to from other games, but they're going to be in a code vein-esque kind of flavor, I would imagine. So we'll be on the lookout for those and what that actually means. It'll be interesting to see how they bring that into a new game altogether. So here around this point we see the Lunar Apaches, and the interesting thing is here that this section here that it says they're causing revenants to turn into horrors. So it's almost like the Luna Rapachis are hunting revenants just the same way as we are. So it's like a race of who gets to them first. Is it us or the Luna group? And so we'll have to wait and see if we're on a race for certain revenants. Is there a time aspect to this of trying to get somewhere first before a revenant turns? That's going to be definitely an interesting idea, something like Majora's Mask, where you have a certain time mechanic where you can travel back and forth at different times, but there's an actual global clock or something that you have to be on the lookout for, because if you're not fast enough, one of the revenants might turn and you won't have time to rescue them or something, kind of like the successors, if you save them or not in the first one. This one might be that same aspect where there are certain ones that you could save and certain ones you can't get to. So that's going to be interesting if there's going to be an option to get to like save all revenants or not save them at all. So it looks like the Lunar Apaches are kind of like the Mito big bad of this installment of the Vane series. If and only if Mito was like completely evil. He had, you know, great aspirations for a world of better revenants, and so he took what measures he thought was realistic and valuable to make it that way. But it looks like the Lunar Apaches are more bent on the idea of the destruction of the world, which Mito was not. He was looking to improve the world. He just went about it in a kind of different way, kind of messed up and evil way, but he wasn't trying to destroy everything. So this looks like it's going to be one step above Mito and what his level of intent was for the world. So we'll have to wait and see how this time race to get to the revenants is going to be played out. So as we keep going along here, we get to the point where we find out a little bit more about the protagonist here, where we actually died during one of the missions, and that's kind of reminiscent of the first game, where we were fighting in the Queen War, and before the Great Collapse or during the Great Collapse, and then we died when we fought Cruz, the Queen, and then we were brought back because we had become the successor of the blood, and so we revived because we were now no longer a human, we were actually a revenant, and so because we took the Queen's blood. And so now this is going to be interesting that you know, we died, and there will probably be a similar character arc where, you know, we don't remember what happened, or we remember that we were on a mission and then all of a sudden we're alive again and we don't know why. So it's kind of nice that they're kind of fleshing out this Revenant Hunter protagonist, and the fact that we are somehow greeted by Lou, this girl here, and somehow she shares her heart with us. And so the golden heart here in her chest is somehow given to us or shared with us, which makes me think that this heart here on the back of the protagonist is that shared heart. And so somehow this has a connection to Lou, because this is part of her that we have stashed alongside us as we go along. So here the director gives us a little insight into that 100 years into the past. So the protagonist travels 100 years into the past to save the world from destruction. So he travels back in time 100 years from wherever he is in the present, which is interesting, that if the horrors are gone, then we have to be either somewhere beyond 2090 or somewhere around there, 2100. We have to be beyond that. But if we've traveled 50 years into the future and then gone 100 years back, so then we're before God Eater 3 and all that, and God Eater 2. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see what this reference point is again. Just definitely interesting when there's time travel involved. You never know what's the reference point, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. One other thing here is that you'll notice that Lou's tear is gold, and she has the red eyes, just like Io, or not Io, just like we had in the first game. So it'll be interesting to see, because Io had yellow eyes, but she now has red eyes, just like a Revenant, and she has the gold tears. So somehow the gold, they're hinting at it not so subtly here, that all the gold that's going on is somehow connected to Lou, and I would imagine that it's going to be somehow connected to the heart on our back, as well as the fighting system where we are collecting those gold shards and stuff out of some of the revenants that we're fighting. So it seems that they've all been imbued or infused maybe by the gold blood bead. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see if that's what brought about this transformation, and maybe that's where the hook to the first game is going to come in, that the gold blood bead was planted and revenants ate of that, and that's why they're all impregnated, implanted now with this gold blood, because they had access to the weeping tree and the gold blood bead, that even that the successor of the blood planted from the first one, maybe. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what transpires there, and if there actually is a connection or not. But that's seeming to be that when you have the fights between the different revenants, where was that? Back here? Yeah, when you're fighting these different revenants, and there's the gold pieces that are coming off of the creatures and different things, it seems to be more of a like these gold bits and stuff. It seems to be more of a reference back to this whole idea of revenants and the gold. So more to come on that, but it's definitely interesting to see more of these images and more of these connections maybe being made based on how the director is giving us this information. So be on the lookout for that. All of the boss fights through here, they all appear to be revenants and various Lunar Apache antagonists or something like that, or main characters or something. So definitely interesting to see, and I wonder how this character here is going to play into it, if at all. And so is this the big bad? We'll have to wait and see, but definitely an interesting idea that all of the fights that they showed us through here were all Revenant based. So these are all different Revenants that have been transformed, that have been changed, and it'll be interesting to see, how these aren't boss fights here, but these are regular enemies, but these boss fights with different Revenants here, how do they play into the Lunar Apache storyline? We'll have to wait and see, but we'll encounter various Revenants both in the past and in the present. So somehow there were Revenants 100 years ago and Revenants now. So it'll be interesting to see how they bridge that time gap again. But definitely we'll have to wait and see on that. This guy looks like just a story character, and this guy definitely is a co-op partner that we're gonna have to be looking for. Dual claws, and right here we see he has dual knives or dual short swords or daggers or something, while the main character has the katana still. And then we get a shot of him doing a jump or a dive attack with dual claws. So this might be just a cutscene, which would be unfortunate, but if this dive attack is actually real, it's going to be extremely awesome when paired with this dual blood code attack 1 and 2. So if there's a drain like that, but then there's a different dive attack that you could get as a different style of attack. So could be something interesting here coming with the different blood veils. And it's definitely interesting when you look at this attack back here, that the new thorn veil goes up in the air as well, and has a cast down. So there might be two different attacks, one where you are on the ground and do some kind of grab drain with your weapon or with your veil, and then there might be some kind of continued airborne attack with each veil. So the thorn veil is up in the air. This one jumps in the air and does a dive attack. There could be some very interesting blood veil mechanics that are definitely going to be part of this new idea of making blood veils viable weapons, since they sort of did that by accident in the first game. And now they're actually making them into real viable weapon sets instead of just the weapons in the game. So it's kind of nice to see that they're giving the blood veils a little more love instead of just here's your armor and here's a potential parry drain mechanic. They're actually giving you a weapon platform to mix and match from, which I'm thrilled about, and I'm happy to see that, because the first vein was kind of a oopsie doopsie when they had all of the gifts in the game, and then you stack them all up onto a blood veil, and you can start killing bosses in one drain hit at level 1. I don't really think that was on any developer's mindset, that when they developed the game that said, hey, let's make our blood veils one-shot bosses at level 1. I don't think that was on their mind, so it was kind of an oopsie. But here it looks like they're definitely putting some love into it and putting some thought into how the blood veils are going to operate. So definitely here for that. Definitely interesting for that. Look forward to a dramatic story that unfolds across time. So definitely going to be something to watch for of that timeline, to make sure that we understand where we are placed in history and how things are going to go down. So just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on this and some of the new topics and discussion points that were not in the original trailer. And so coming 2026, I've got my new video card and I'm ready to go for Code Vein 2. So hope to see you guys then. And I've been trying to follow a lot of these new videos and stuff and read up about it. That's why there's been quite a lack of regular videos coming for now, as well as been doing some other things. So thank you guys, and take care, and I hope you get a chance to check out this trailer and keep your theories going about what is coming in the future. So take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.